All right, welcome to the um, September class of Medication Aid for Randolph Community College. It's an online course, so you might have a little extra work to do. And I see Shawnette has already learned how to ask a question. If she wants to go ahead and ask, I see her hand up.
I didn't mean to.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's all right. No, that's okay. That's a good that's actually a good introduction. So, if you will. So, who here has taken a class on Moodle before? If you've taken a class with Moodle before, raise your virtual hand. Ah, Muhammad. Muhammad has, and Tabitha and Tiara. Okay, all right. So let me see you. Let me see your face, Muhammad. I see your picture, but I haven't seen you in so long. It's been years. Can you turn your camera on, or are you too shy? I know you're not shy. He's a nice looking guy, so you can't be shy. At least he was when I knew him last, unless he got into a horrible accident, which scarred half his face or something. There he is. Yeah, nice looking guy. Now, your name is Muhammad, but for some reason I have you listed as Dilshad.
Yes,
Is that also your name?
yes, Mohammed Dilshad Nawaz, my full name.
Mm.
And Ram, I want to tell everybody, me
Yeah.
and Ram been working, so, I'm sorry, me and Ram been working so long, and someplace, I don't want to mention it, but Ram is such a wonderful guy. He never been changed, and as soon as the number, I see the number, I say, oh, okay, this is my buddy. I was telling my kid, I said, look, my instructor is my buddy. I'm so feeling good, so feeling
Mm.
confidence, and
Nice.
and I'm sure that this course will give us a lot of help through RAM, instructions. And people who does not know about RAM, trust me, RAM is a person we need to be, we need to be under his instruction. He's such a living legend. Whoever work under him, they know him.
Wow. Wow. Well, so I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Muhammad Nawaz is actually my brother, and I paid him to say this. So no, no, but he is my homeboy. Because aren't you from India, or I can't remember, India, Pakistan, somewhere in that hemisphere?
Pakistan. I'm from
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Yeah. So that would have made a difference to my father, but it doesn't make a difference to me.
I understand it. That was
Yeah.
my first, mistake was I thought, oh, you from India, we speak same language, and I tried to
Uh-huh.
speak it, and then I realized it. I said, okay, okay, and then in the end, I find it out you are such a nice gentleman. You
Oh,
you
thank you.
really,
I appreciate that.
and I really missed you the way you just gone. There are a few other people like Robert Smith, who's right now like middle school teacher. He working in Greensboro right now. He
Okay.
used to work with us. After you, he got weekend supervisor. And I was telling kids, I said weekend supervisor is a pain in ass. I'm sorry to say this, but this
It
job
is.
anybody can be, and we all are, people, who've been working on floor. So we
Yeah.
do know, and the good thing is the person who's going to teach us, he had a lot of experience, a lot of hell of experience and education. And really not, you're not an office boy, you are the person, who literally, I've seen lot of difficult cases solved under your leadership, Thank you for
Wow.
your work, sir.
Wow. I really appreciate that. I've never heard you talk about me before, but I'm going to ask you to write a recommendation for me at some point, I think. I'm really some really glowing comments you made there. So,
No,
uh,
this is like I wish I could speak better because of my my throat and it's not helping me today.
uh,
Otherwise,
I have the
next
same thing.
yes,
I have the
next
same thing.
I came negative twice. I came negative Friday negative, Sunday negative by laptop. So I'm fine. But
Yeah, I
my
was sick as I
allergy
was
is kind
sick as a
of
dog, and I
huh?
never get sick. I never get sick, but I was sick as a dog over the weekend, so I didn't go to work today.
Oh,
Um, and that's why I'm dressed a little casually, right? But
you look like a king. And I thought you are in some facility this way. I thought you had scrubs on.
yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it? All right, so Muhammad has taken the class before. So for those of you who have not taken the class before, let's get right to it. I'm going to give you a brief introduction, very brief introduction to Moodle, um, and then we're going to introduce the course. So um, Moodle is the platform that Randolph Community College uses. Um, you should be able to access the Moodle course from your computer or your phone. If your computer is like somebody told me earlier, is they said that my computer's crap, so I need to log in on my phone. But I don't want you to have to buy a new computer just for the course. Um, there are some things that you will find a little bit harder to do on your phone than the computer, a regular desktop. But I just want to let you know you should be able to access it from either place. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner, we'll start with that. You look in the upper left-hand corner of this web page, that is the collaboration session. Excuse me. All right. You'll see a tab that when you hover over it, it says Open Session Menu. So if you click on that, you will see some options. You'll see on my screen, I see recording. It might not be on yours, but then the next thing I see, it says use your phone for audio. Long distance charges may apply. So um, this is something I'll talk about in just a second, but it's an option if you're having difficulty with the class. We have report an issue, tell me about collaborate, Blackboard collaborate help, privacy policy, and then on the bottom it says leave session. So that's the button you'll press when class is concluded. You'll leave the session that way. So now I'm going to press the button again, that tab to close the session menu. And now I'm going to go over to the upper right-hand corner. And if you look on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you will see what looks like a rectangle with three squares underneath. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen so that you'll be able to see what I'm talking about besides just me telling you. So I'm going to share my screen.
Somebody just joined if you didn't see.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's see who was it. Elizabeth, Ernestine, Annika, Davina, Christian, Demetrius, Jasmine,
I believe it was Annika McCain.
Annika McCain. Got it. All right. So I'm sharing my screen now. If you look, um, if you look at my screen, what you'll see is like an infinite number of screens because I'm sharing my screen. So it's a little bit confusing. But what I wanted to show you is this in the upper right-hand corner, which now you can't see. Um, was the views, the view controls, um, which now you can't see. So let's skip that and go to this lower right hand corner, which says Open Collaborate Panel. So it's a little lavender or purple colored tab. When you click on this lavender purple colored tab and you open it, it's going to give you a menu. The first thing it should show you is who's in attendance. Who's the moderator and who's the participants. Excuse me. To the left of that, on the bottom, there's these. On the bottom of this panel, there's some tabs, and to the left is a chat message panel. So go ahead and put something in the chat. I'm going to put something first. I'm going to put my name. And let's see, I'll put my phone number, 336-259. This is my personal cell phone number, 0122, and my email address. So go ahead and type something in the chat, just for practice, in the chat with everyone.
So at the
So
top on mine, it says find someone to chat with.
It says what?
Find someone to chat with.
Find someone to chat with. Let's see. Where are you?
Right there.
Oh,
It's
okay, yeah. Find someone to chat with. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on everyone.
Okay.
Good question. I'm glad that you asked. Got it. Good job.
I'm sorry, where to put comments? Can we go through again, please?
Yes, of course. So this is how I got to it. I hit open collab panel, which is this little purple tab with the two arrows on it, two less than signs. And I open the collaborate panel. And the first thing it opens it up to is this attendees tab. And on the bottom, you'll see 4 tabs. On the left, the first tab is chat. And that's where you want to go and go to chat. When you open up chat, it will probably, the first thing you'll see is this, where you can chat with someone in particular, like a private chat. You can slide into somebody's DMs that way, or you can chat with everyone. Did you? All right, good job. You got it. So, did you hear me say slide into DMs? Because I know that I'm really hip to the new things that the kids say. They say slide into your DMs, right? Isn't that what kids say nowadays? A direct message. I think that's what.
Hey, anybody see my comment or not?
I have not seen your comment yet. So if you go to this collaborate panel.
Yeah.
And you open the collaborate panel, you should see chat channels, 2 chat channels, where you can either send a DM to me or chat with everyone. You click on everyone and just type something in here. And you can even select emotions. But this is it. This is what everybody's grade is so far.
My glasses are coming, so
Okay.
it'll be here next week. That's what
That's fine. Don't worry. I'm going to just move on here to the next tab. To the right of attendees, you'll see share content. Now, if for some reason you need to share content, you can do so here. Now, you probably won't be able to share content unless I give you um, that access. But I think I will in just a moment, so you can see how it works. And then the last tab down here on the bottom is your settings, and this is where you can set up your camera and microphone. You can also use your phone for audio, speaker volume, video performance, and so forth. Now, here's what I need to tell you about your camera and microphone. In the middle of the screen, I'm going to stop sharing right now. You don't know. No, I'm not going to stop sharing. First, in the middle on the bottom of the screen, excuse me, you see four buttons. This first button on the bottom has your profile picture. If you have a profile picture, if you don't, it's probably just got your initials or your first initial on there. You click on that, and you can see where you can leave the session here as well. You can give feedback like go faster, go slower, confused, surprised, happy, agree, disagree. All right, and then it's also going to give you some statistics about your connection speed, and that's good, and that's really important, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Then we have audio right there in the middle. It looks like a little microphone, and if you want to mute yourself, you can click on this. So now you should be able to hear me again because I've unmuted myself. Likewise, with the video, you can mute your video by pressing that button right there. So now my video is muted, and you can't see me. And then I click on it again, and it's going to give me a little preview before I share my video. And there I have. So that's how you mute your audio and or video. And after I told you how to mute your video, I think that that somebody uh, had just learned at that moment how to mute themselves because there was a lot of feedback, and that feedback went away. So that was nice. I don't know who that was, but that was nice. Now I don't hear that feedback. Then the last button on the bottom is raise hand. Now in this class, you can interrupt any way you want. You can raise your hand here like that, and then you hit it again to lower. You can just interrupt me. You can put something in the text in the chat box, or any way you want to get my attention. Now, if you go to that first button and you see your statistics, hover over this right here, and you see your statistics, and you see that your speed is slowed down. Maybe it's your internet connection, it might be your computer, whatever the case may be. You can sometimes increase the speed of your connection by muting the video like that. Okay, mute the video. And if that isn't enough to improve your connection, you can also, besides muting your video, you can go up here to either the collaborate panel and go into settings and use your phone for audio. And then you can, when you use your phone for audio, it's going to take less resources. It's going to take some of the resources away from your computer, and it might improve your connection. So if you find that your connection, good job, Mohammed. So if you find that your connection is poor, you can do those two things. You can mute your video, and then you can also use your phone for audio, and it'll give you a dial-in number with a pin right there. All right. Good job. Everyone still CNAs, right? So in order to take this class, you have to be a CNA. So everyone here should already be a certified nursing assistant. And if you are working in long-term care, um, then I share your pain because I've worked in long-term care as well. And while it's very rewarding in many ways, it's also very challenging. And one of the places I worked in long-term care was as a weekend supervisor. Um, and I worked with Muhammad. Muhammad was one of the CNAs there, and Muhammad, I'm very proud to say, also worked very hard, and I hope that he has had enjoyed lots of success. And I see that someone has already switched over to using a phone connection. Good job, Tira. I don't know if you did that before or after I mentioned that uh, that that tidbit. So that is your there's one more thing on the Moodle that if you look in the upper right hand corner, you'll see a rectangle with four little squares underneath it, and that changes your view. Your view starts out as the speaker view, which means that who's ever speaking at that moment is their spotlight is going to be on them. And oh, by the way, I could also mute some folks too. So if you get muted for some reason, um, if you get muted for some reason, don't take it personally. You can always unmute yourself. It just depends on if I hear a lot of feedback, I might mute you to see if that helps. But don't take it personally because you can of course unmute yourself and speak freely in this class. So um, so the default view for your screen is the speaker view, which means that who's ever speaking at the moment, like I'm speaking at the moment, so the camera should your main screen should be on me, and the people who have their camera on will be below me. You can also use a gallery view, and the gallery, if you click on gallery view, that's going to put as many people on the screen as possible that have um, their camera on. Then you can also use tiled view. With tiled view, it's similar to the speaker view, but that shows a tile fashion. So I'm going to go back to the speaker view, which is um, the default. All right. So that is a that's your quick and dirty introduction to Moodle. If you'd like to learn more about Moodle and you'd like to, because there's other things in Moodle I'm going to be asking you to do, but I'm going to show you in the course. But if you'd like to see more about Moodle, you can find in the email that I sent you, you can find a link to a Moodle tutorial, and it's in that same tutorial you'll find on the Moodle homepage. But let's go on to the course. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the course. So by now, you should have all seen the calendar, right? Maybe. Yes, it's fantastic. Is this a protein soup? Yeah. Wow, this one tastes a lot better than all the others. Okay. So let me go ahead and pull up the course calendar and then share my screen. Most of you have probably already seen this. If you have not, so it's okay. We're going to share it. We're going to share it now. Share screen. Okay. Any moment now, you will see, there we go. You'll see this Word document that I sent out as an attachment to the email that I sent you today a couple of hours ago. This is your calendar, and it's the medication aid training, which is the course that you're in. And we're meeting every Monday and Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We may not meet that whole time, uh, because I built in some extra time for you to complete your assignments. Because there's assignments. If you take this course from me in person, you wouldn't be doing all these assignments. You would be just sitting in class for 4 hours with a break in the middle. But since you're taking this class online, you've got some extra assignments to do each day to make sure that you get your 24 hours because that's required. So you see on the top, day one, Monday, September 12th, 2022, and there's two main um, forms of content here for the first day. We spend about 45 minutes on the review of course expectations and course materials. So that is what we're doing right now. And then the rest of the class is this content right here that you see below. System responsibilities, role of the medication aid, role of other healthcare providers in the health system, and communication. These are the assignments that you have to do for today, and these assignments will be due by midnight tonight. So when I say that we're not going to be meeting face to face for the whole time, it's because if we meet for 2 hours, then that means that you'll have 2 hours from 8 to 10 to complete the assignments for today. Or if we meet for 3 hours, you'll have an hour. We meet for an hour, you'll have 3 hours. But you get the idea. The remaining class time that you have tonight will be devoted to completing these assignments. So you can see the assignment for day one. The assignments are to read the syllabus, which you've already done, also known as course overview. I'm going to put AKA, which means also known as course overview. View the class intro video, which is marked view this first, and I'll show you that on Moodle. Post on the Getting to Know You forum. Skim, it says entire textbook, but it should say skim both textbooks in their entirety. So you should have two textbooks, and if you don't have two textbooks, then let me know that you are missing a textbook because you don't want to fall behind. The two textbooks you have, one is known as the Medication Administration Manual, and it's put out by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and it's the one that should have been emailed to you when you first signed up for this course. If you don't have that, it's in 6 parts. If you don't have that, I've also posted it on Moodle in the resources so that you'll be able to download it if you, for some reason, did not get that in your email. Then there's another textbook which should have only been like $20. It's called Hartman's Complete Guide for the Medication Aid, and it's a very good book. It really fills in the gaps that the Department of Health and Human Services leaves. Department of Health and Human Services is a good manual, but I feel that it doesn't give you enough content to successfully pass the state examination for your certification. So I've incorporated this Hartman's Complete Guide for the Medication Aid. And then the last thing is that you can view the day one textbook read aloud. Now, this is an option. You don't have to do this. But what I've done is I have students in the past have recorded themselves, excuse me. Students in the past for this class have recorded themselves reading from the textbook from the Department of Health and Human Services student manual, and they have given me permission to use their video so that you can have another way of reinforcing the material. What does this mean? This means that if you're the type of person that learns better by hearing, the text read to you rather than reading the text, then this will give you an even playing field. For many of you, you learn in different modalities, and so after, before, or during, while you're reading the textbook, if you wanted to listen to the textbook being read aloud to you at the same time, you could do that too, and you'll that way you'll have two modalities that you've learned the content of the student manual. Now, I've made the assignments very light for today, very, very light, because as you probably saw, not everybody is here. We go back to the class and go to the class participants, and we see that there's 9 people here. There's 9 people in the class besides me, and there was actually more than a dozen people that signed up. So that means that some people who signed up for the class are not here, and I don't want them to fall too far behind. So I made the assignments for the first day very, very light. You only have to read the first 16 pages in the medication administration student manual from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and pages 1 through 9 from Hartman's Complete Guide for the Medication Aid. And that's also to be sure that you have both textbooks by today, because I know that sometimes it takes time to ship the Hartman's Guide. So that's day 1. Now let's take a look at Moodle. I'm gonna go away from the calendar for a minute, and let's take a look at what Moodle says. In Moodle, this is the class itself, and this is the same thing that you should see. I'm going to turn editing off because I was editing in class just earlier. This is the same thing that you should see. It's the class, and I'm going to just close that so we have a little more space here, a little more real estate, if you will. And on the top, it says 912 to 928, PHM 4100 AX-79367, medication aid, and then it has my name. And the first thing you see is attention all students, and you've seen this already. You must complete the syllabus quiz, and that was a really tough quiz, wasn't it? All you had to do was look at the syllabus or the course overview, and then take the syllabus quiz, which is just one question, which was, have you read and understand the syllabus quiz? I'm in the syllabus, yes. And then I have the next thing you'll see is the course calendar, which is the same one that was sent to you in an email. So the course calendar with the assignments for this class is right there. And then the very next thing you should see is class day 1. Class day 1, Monday, September 12th. That's today. And it has the assignments listed the same as on the calendar. Read the syllabus, view the class intro, make an original discussion board post in the Getting to Know You forum, skim both textbooks entirely, and then read the text pertaining to today's content. You're reading pages 1 through 16 in Medication Administration by the Department of Health and Human Services, and section 1 from Hartman's Complete Guide for the Medication Aid, which is pages 1 through 9. And then the option number 6 is view day 1 textbook read aloud videos if you'd like to hear the text read aloud in addition to reading from the DHHS manual. Then you'll see the different things in class day 1. You'll see class face-to-face meeting day 1, which you obviously know where it is because you're here. Then you see the intro. This is a video that gives you an intro. It's going to be very similar to what we saw, what is going on right now. Although there are a few differences because I've changed the class since I made this video back in November 2021. But I think it's good. So in case I missed something, because I've taught this class a few times, and it is possible that I missed something along the way. And in case that happens, um, then perhaps the class intro will fill in those gaps of things that I missed. The next thing you see is the Getting to Know You forum. This is a forum, and you can see the differences in the icons, right? So the top thing is the topic. This is known as the topic. So topic number 1, class day 1. Then underneath class day 1, you see the collaboration link, which if you click on it, it'll take you to that join session. And by the way, this is where you will also find the recording of today's class if you wanted to see it. And you'd even be able to download it if you so desire. Class intro, which you see is a video, and you can see the icon here is a little video. And then you see this icon here that looks like 2 chat bubbles. This is known as a forum. Now, if this class is anything like previous classes that I've taught, then I would put money on this, but I could be wrong because this class didn't get open to you until just a couple of hours ago. But if I were a betting man, I would put money that somebody has already gone ahead and completed this assignment. So if I click on this forum and I look down here, I see, sure enough, 2 people have already posted an original post in this discussion in this forum. So so what is it in this forum? You're going to answer the following questions. What's your name? Do you have a nickname? Tell us about yourself. Are you married? Do you have children? How long have you been a CNA? What do you expect to get from this course? Who is your hero? If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What is your biggest fear? What is your favorite family vacation? What would you change about yourself if you could? What really makes you angry? What motivates you to work hard? And what is the favorite thing about your career, your chosen career path? So don't stress about the assignment, just have fun. And I see here that we have 2 people who have already replied, or the way you would post an original post on this is to add a new discussion topic. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm being a little lazy because there's a whole lot that I've written, but I'm going to take it from a previous class, and I'm going to so you add a new discussion topic, and you put a subject in the message, like anything like getting to know you or about me or anything, and I'm going to put getting to know your instructor, Ram. Then I'm going to go ahead and paste that information that I used in the last class. It says, hi, my name is Ramesh Chandra Upadhyay. People call me Ram, and it's pronounced Ram. I have 30 years of experience, yada, yada, yada. So Mr. Muhammad knows me, but and one of the things that he probably knows about me is I have a really hard time accepting a compliment. And so with that in mind, I don't like to brag too much, so I'll let you read a little bit about me, and then you can decide whether it's if I'm being modest or immodest. So then once you've talked a little bit about yourself, you click on post to forum, just like that, and it says your post was successfully added. You have 30 minutes to edit if you want to make any changes, and Ramesh Upadhyay will be notified of new posts and getting to know you. So if we look down here, now we'll see my post, getting to know your instructor, Ram. And if I click on, for example, Demetrius Williams' discussion topic that she posted in this forum, it will say what she wrote. My name is Demetrius Williams. I go by D, not married or have kids. I've been a CNA for 5 years. I expect to learn how to administer medication. I am my own hero. I like that because I look up to my future dreams and aspirations. If I could live anywhere, it would be in the mountains because it's peaceful. Well, I know that's true. It is very peaceful in the mountains. I have to tell you a story about that. My biggest fear is walking into a huge widow spider web. Wow. Being underestimated makes me angry. Yes, I can relate to that too. Being able to support my future makes me work hard, and the favorite thing about my career is making my patients smile. So next week, one of your assignments is to reply to two of your peers for this post. So this is not due today, but I'm going to show you next week, or not next week, next class, which is Wednesday. You're going to reply to two forum posts, and you're going to do so using this reply link right here. So you just hit reply, and you type your reply, and I'll say hi B. I let's see. I think the mountains are very peaceful as well. In fact, some places like valleys in the mountains have no cell phone reception, and that makes it even more peaceful. So if I were to rent a cabin in the mountains, I would make sure it was in a valley that had no cell phone reception, because of course the mountains around it would would prevent, so nobody could get a hold of me. That'd be fine. That'd be just fine. Post to forum. It posts to forum, and now this reply is under Demetrius Williams. And if I go back to the Getting to Know You forum, you will see under where Demetrius Williams has made a post, the last post, you can see there's a reply. There's one reply, and the last post was done by Ram, me. And that's how you make an original post, and you also reply to a post. So let's go back to class day one. That folder or that topic, class day one, because we wanted to take a look at the Getting to Know You forum. And that's what that looks like, getting to know you. Now, I've also included in this first day chapter 1 of Hartman's Complete Guide to the Medication Aid. So if for some reason you do not have the textbook yet, here is chapter 1. So you get to, it's a preview that you can get for free from the company, but it's pages 1 through 10, I believe. But it's the first 10 pages or so of chapter 1. I've also included here a supplemental introduction class if you so desire to look at it. This will be very similar to the other one, and it says you don't have to view this one. It has the same information as the first video, but if you're interested, you can view this one for reinforcement. Also, in case I miss anything, occasionally, because I've taught this class a lot, I assume that everybody knows everything. So I may miss something. Then here is the last folder in class day 1, which is called class or a day 1 textbook read aloud. So if you open up this folder, what you'll see is all of these videos, page 1, page 2 through 7, page 8 through 10, page 11 through 13, 14 and 15. So those are that's all you're reading for page 1. And again, I have had previous students read the textbook aloud, and they gave me permission to use this in future classes. So now you get to enjoy the textbook being read to you aloud. And here's a little spoiler alert: you're also going to need to read the textbook aloud on a video, but that's not until Wednesday. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler, but a little foretaste of the feast to come, which is on class day 2. If you look at the calendar, class day 2, which is this Wednesday at 6 p.m. This is the content that we're going over, and these are the assignments due for class that day. So it's a little heavier, as you can see, than class day 1, because by this time everybody should have been able to log into Moodle. So you're going to read from the Human Health and Human Services textbook. You're only going to read about 50 pages from that, so it's not a whole lot. But you're also going to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chapters from Hartman's Complete Guide. So that's a lot of reading. Doesn't necessarily have to be done by midnight on Wednesday. You can just make sure that you have it done shortly after day 2. You're going to view 4 Department of Health and Human Services video clips. You're going to make 2 original posts, one in the forum called Healthcare Roles and Responsibilities, and one in Sixth Rights, Mars, and Medical Asepsis. You're going to respond to 2 forum posts in the Getting to Know You. Remember, I said that was going to be one of your assignments, to respond to 2 of your peers' original posts. And then you're going to submit a video of yourself reading from the text, and the section will be assigned today. I'll assign this what you're going to read today. You're going to submit this video of yourself reading from Hartman's textbook, and you're going to submit it to me via Gmail, mail drop if you use an iPhone, YouTube, or another video app such as Screencast-O-Matic, or even upload it to Moodle. And then lastly, of course, you can view the day 2 textbooks read aloud if you would like to hear the text read aloud. Now, why is it that I'm asking you to submit a video of yourself reading from the Hartman textbook? Can anybody tell me why in the world I would want you to read from the textbook? Let's see. I think I heard someone.
Yes, I got it. And
Got it?
yeah, it's better to read it rather than just give quizzes.
So okay, very interesting. So what Muhammad is saying is that I'm testing you to see if you will read the text. Well, you're half right. You are half correct. The truth is, the reason that I am making you read from the textbook and then submit it to me is this. At the end of the course, on day 5, one of the last assignments you'll see in the calendar here on day 5 is that the video of student skills demonstration needs to be uploaded to Moodle or emailed to me by class day 5. So what does that mean? Well, if we were to be met in person, we would do what's called a round robin demonstration of medication administration, meaning each person in the class would go, we would go around, and each person in the class would demonstrate each route of medication administration. What does that mean? That means that each route, whether it be oral, eyes, ears, topical, transdermal, all of the different routes, and there's about a dozen of them in the classroom. If we were meeting in person, you would be demonstrating to me and the rest of the class that particular skill, that route, right? Since we are not meeting in person, the only substitute that we can have for this, which is a requirement that you do, it's the requirement by the Department of Health and Human Services, is that excuse me, is that you will demonstrate the skill of medication administration in all the different routes. So when previously teaching this class, and I've been teaching it for a couple of years now, I found that if I didn't teach you how to create and submit a video until class day 5, then you would have 2 challenges. The first challenge would be to make the videos and transmit them to me. The second challenge would be to demonstrate all of the medication administration routes. Now, this is not this class is not a technology class. This class is not meant to test your ability to maneuver your phone or an iPhone or anything. This class is meant for medication administration. So what I learned is that when I was teaching this class is that I need to make sure that you know how to make a video and transmit it to me well before class day 5. So that's why it is an assignment in class day 2 is to make a video of yourself reading from the textbook and then send it to me. That way I know that you know how to make a video and transmit it one way or another. That is the sole purpose in this assignment. It's not to test and see if you know how to read English. So how do you make and submit a video? So many of you have a phone that enables you to capture video. You can use your phone or another video capture device to capture the video, and then you're going to upload that video, and you might upload it right here where I've made an assignment. You can't see this yet, by the way. You can't see class day 2 because I've made it hidden. Right now, the only thing you can see is 1. But you upload a video. You can upload the video right here to Moodle, and I've enabled this to be uploaded up to 20 videos if you want, which you don't need to. You're only going to need to upload 1 here. And it can be up to 500 megabytes in size, and that's pretty large. So that's important because if you try to email a video, for example, let me go to my email. Excuse me. If you try to email somebody a video, like for example, I'll hit compose, and I'll try to send a video to Muhammad. Shoot, I can't remember what it is. It doesn't matter. I'll just send it to myself. So I'm trying to send a video to my work email, and I'm going to say this is a video. If you try to, and I say is attached. If you try to attach a file that is less than 25 megabytes, this is true for most servers, including Gmail. If it's less than 25 megabytes, like all of these are less than 25 megabytes, even this one that is the MedAid candidate guide, is only 1.3 megabytes. I'm sure it won't be. If I try to attach it, it'll attach it without trouble. See there? It's attaching that that file. Okay? But I don't want you to have it that easy, because none of your files, when you make a video, is going to be as small as 25 megabytes. Many of your files are going to be as much as 500 megabytes. So watch what happens when I try to attach a something that is larger than 25 megabytes. Here's one right here. This is called Credential Video. It's a video I made a while back in February of this year. So I tried to attach this, which is 117 megabytes. I'm sorry, 177 megabytes. Excuse me. I tried to attach it, and it says your video, your file is larger than 25 megabytes. It will be sent as a Google Drive link. So what that means is this: if you have Gmail, then you automatically have a Google Drive. Whether you know it or not, you have a Google Drive, which is a virtual storage place for you. If you have an Android phone, you automatically have Gmail. Meaning, if you have a Samsung or a Google phone or any of those phones that that is not made by Apple, then you automatically have a Gmail account. And you also, since you automatically have a Gmail account, you also have a Google Drive. If you have an iPhone, on the other hand, then you automatically have something like a Google Drive. It's a virtual storage place called the cloud or iCloud. So in either case, any file larger than 25 megabytes is going to be prompted to upload to your Google Drive, and then what happens is it will be sent to me as a link. So you can see it's uploading very slowly, and so it will take time. And it would have already finished uploading if I wasn't streaming right now on the video. But give it time. Once it finishes loading, it will you'll see. I'm going to show you what it looks like on my end. Let's see if I can find something. Here we go. Let's try this. Okay. So you can upload it to Google Drive. You could also upload it to YouTube like this student here did. Do you recognize that student? You recognize that name? Well, you should, because she's in your class right now. But this student, instead of sending an email, this student sent it via YouTube, which is also fine. So that's another way to do it. Let me see if I can find somebody who sent it another way. Here we go. So at the first time this student sent me something, there was nothing in the email. So I was like, I don't see anything. And she said, oh, I didn't mean to send that. Is there a way I can let you view it on YouTube? And I said yes, and so she did. So she put her video on YouTube as well, which is fine. That is perfectly acceptable. But what I'm trying to show you, what I'm trying to find is is what happens. Here's what it looks like when somebody sends me a video from their iPhone. Somebody sends me a video from their iPhone, then they'll be using what's called mail drop. And they use mail drop, and it basically sends as the file that you've selected as an email to whoever you decide, which would be me. And it comes as a download, and I click here to download, and you can see this is a movie file because it's .mov, and I just click here to download, and I'm able to download that that particular video. So that's if somebody has an iPhone. Now let's take a look and see if I can find someone who sent using an Android or not an Android, but sent it via Gmail and took the video with an Android. Let's see. I think this might be it right here. Yes, here we go. So here is what it looks like when someone sends it to me using Gmail, and they made recording with an Android phone. It gives me a link, and she named the link pages 34 and 35, and this was Aisha. And then I click on that link, and it will allow me to download the video. So that's one way of doing it, is by sending it to me from a Gmail account. Another way of doing it is by uploading it to YouTube and allowing it to be viewed by me, because any uploads you make to YouTube have to they're private until you make them otherwise. Or you can also do something called Screencast-O-Matic. Screencast-O-Matic is turns your computer into a video maker, basically. So like if I when I log into Screencast-O-Matic, because I've made an account there, you'll see the videos that I've made and uploaded to Screencast-O-Matic. Those are some of the videos that I've made right there. You can see them. And if I sent you a link, or if I downloaded that video like this, I go to details, I believe. Yes, I go to details, and then here it is. Yes, download MP4, and it will enable me to download this video that I've made on Screencast to my computer, so that I can email it or do anything I want to with it. So that's another way, Screencast-O-Matic. There are even other ways to do it. You can use Dropbox, which is a digital Dropbox. So Dropbox.com, you can get a free subscription to Dropbox, which basically allows you to upload things into a digital Dropbox. and then you just share, basically, then you share that that file that you uploaded to with me. And here is one organization I belong to, and it's a digital Dropbox of different things that I've got online that I wanted to share with others in the organization. And there's other ways to do it. Another way you can do it is you can actually upload it directly to Moodle, which I told you before is under Class Day 2, says upload a video of yourself reading from the textbook. Now, to reiterate all of this that I've just told you, I've even made a video on how to upload a video, all right? And that's on Class Day 2. So what am I trying to tell you? There are a multitude of ways to upload this video that's due for Day 2. And even though I've showed you all of these ways, I'm not going to jinx it by saying that this is going to happen. But it's only happened once in the last 2 years or so I've been teaching the class, is that everybody was able to upload or send to me the video of them reading the textbook to me without being, on time, without being late. That's only happened once before. But that's okay. What I'm telling you is, don't get frustrated. If you feel yourself getting frustrated about uploading this video or sending this video to me, call me, text me, email me, get a hold of me somehow, and let's work through it together. I don't want you to get frustrated. Remember that the this assignment is so that I know that you know how to create and submit a video, so that you'll have that skill for the last assignment that you do, which is to make a video or a series of videos of yourself demonstrating the different routes of medication administration. All right. Any questions up to this point? Have I lost anybody?
Nope.
Good.
Nope.
All right. So what I wanted to do is just give you a little overview again of the future classes. That was Class Day 2, a little bit heavier because you have a total of 4 forum posts to do this Wednesday, which is 2 original posts and 2 responses, and then you're going to submit the video. Now, what is the video going to be of? Does anybody remember what this video that I'm having you submit on Class Day 2 is for as an assignment for Class Day 2 is going to be of?
Reading the textbook.
Right. And since I've already got students who have read the textbook from the Department of Health and Human Services through page 100, I'm now moving over to Hartman's Guide, and I'm going to have you guys read from Hartman's Guide, and I will have you read from Hartman's Guide, and then when you send me the video, you can let me know if I have your permission to use that in future classes or not. And that's why it takes a long time to get these videos the videos read aloud, because if someone doesn't give me permission, then I'll have to ask someone from the next class to read that page. But that's okay. I don't want you to feel like that is going to detract any from your grade or anything in the course. Some people just don't like, to be videoed, and that's fine. I personally don't mind. I guess it's because I'm a very photogenic person. And so next, the question is, which page are you going to be responsible to read? I'm going to ask you an important question first. Ashley Ortiz. My question is, do you have the Hartman's? Do you have Hartman's Guide?
Not yet.
Okay. So then that means that you're going to read page 1 from the Hartman's Guide because that's posted. You remember that's available in Moodle. All right. Shawnette Cofield, do you have Hartman's Guide? The textbook.
Yes, I have it.
Great. And you're going to read page 10. All right. Tierra Snipes, are you here? Tierra? Tabitha. Tabitha
Yes.
Genley, do you have Hartman's Guide?
Yes.
Great. You're going to be page 11. Lisbeth Gabrielle, or is it Gabriel? Are you here? Lisbeth? Trini Steele, do you have Hartman's Guide yet? Trini? I know I saw you earlier. Maybe you're having difficulty unmuting yourself. Is either of the Williams? Oh, let's see. You typed something.
My bad. I thought I was unmuted.
No, that's okay. All right. So, do you have Hartman's Guide yet?
I never got it
Okay.
from the last one. I kept
Really?
on getting the runaround. I kept on getting the runaround from the bookstore, so I was like, forget
Oh
it.
dear, I'm sorry. Okay, so you're gonna read page 3 because that's in Moodle. The first chapter is in Moodle.
Okay.
And then Tabitha, you have a question?
Yes. So, like, you assign one person page 10 and then me page 11. So,
Did I screw
like,
up?
do you want... No, I'm asking, like, do you want whoever reads page 10 to finish that paragraph on the
That's a
ending of the
really,
page?
yeah, that's a really good question. I think you're right. The answer is yes. That's a really
Okay.
good question. I hadn't thought of that before, but I think the person who reads page 10, Shawnette, should finish that last paragraph. And Tabitha, you might as well start on the next paragraph. Now, hopefully, these pages that I've given you have enough words on there to take up more than 25 megabytes of video, because that's the idea. All right, so Elizabeth is not here. Ernestine Karoma. Ernestine, if you're here, you can unmute yourself. Christian McPherson. Davina McDowell. Okay, either of the Williamses.
Demetrius Williams is here.
Great. Okay, Demetrius, do you have the Hartman's Guide?
Yes.
Perfect. You're going to have page 12. And so that means that Jovan, do you have the Hartman's Guide?
I do not have it, but it should be here tomorrow.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'm going to change your reading assignment since your textbook is arriving tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to change it to page 13. Now, somebody who has the Hartman's Guide right now, it would be good if you looked at these pages to make sure that there's enough words on there, because I actually don't know for sure. So if you look on pages 10, 11, 12, and 13, make sure that's a whole page of text, so that we don't shortchange anybody. That would be fantastic. Yeah, because one of them might be a picture. Yeah. Shayna, do you have Hartman's Guide
Not yet. Mine's coming tomorrow as well.
tomorrow? Okay, so let me think. All right, if yours is coming tomorrow, I'm going to change yours to 14, page 14.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. See me showing off? Okay, so these are your, oh, anybody on the call, right? Anybody on the phone right now? I mean, on the anybody in the class right now that has not given me their phone number in an email, please do so when you can, because I'm going to put your phone number here. So everybody should have seen what their reading assignment is. And that's not due today. It's for class day 2. So don't stress about it. And let's take a look then back. Let's look back on the course calendar. And that was day 2 is the submit a reading from the text book. And it's a section assigned in first week. So I've just assigned that to you. And I'll also follow it up with an email to you this evening.
You weren't supposed to take the calcium with the iron.
Oh, really? Okay, I should have known that. So can anybody tell me, oh, I think there's a question. Tabitha. Tabitha, thank you. If you don't mind, could you say that? Could you say that to me?
336 325 5144.
To show you a little something special maybe you didn't know about Excel. There we go. Does that look right, Tabitha?
Yep.
Great. Okay. So let's look back on the calendar. So that's for day 2. And then on day 3, we've got these assignments, very similar to day 2. You're going to read sections 10, 11, and 12 from Hartman's. Wait, I skipped day 3, sorry. So that was day 2 is where you submit the video. And then day 3 is here, reading text from, you're going to be reading the rest of the textbook from the Department of Health and Human Services, because it's only about 100 pages of actually stuff that you read from that one. And then you're going to read sections 5 and 6 from Hartman's Complete Guide. You're going to review the remaining DHHS video clips, post in 2 new forums, and respond to 2 forum posts. And likewise in day 4 and day 5 and day 6, you can see the assignments there. And I have not yet released or made it available to you, but this is what I was talking about earlier in the class. If you are one of those people that likes to work ahead, I will allow you to see class day 2 for this Wednesday if you want to work ahead a little bit. Does anybody want me to do that?
Yes.
All right, why not? I just got to make sure that that everything is ready for prime time there. I think it is. Okay, so now class day 2 is visible to you. And on class day 2, of course, we have our class face-to-face meeting, which is right here. And that class face-to-face meeting is not going to be available until this Wednesday, and you can see it's Wednesday at 6 p.m. is when that's going to be available. That's the link you'll use when we meet on class day 2. Then you see those forums, healthcare roles and responsibilities, 6 rights, and of course I told you about the DHHS video clips. These are the first 4 that you're going to watch, and how to upload a video is there. Oops. How to upload a video is there. Oops, sorry. Scrolling. And then upload a video of yourself. You can upload it here or use one of the other ways. And day 2, textbook read aloud. And you can see class day 3 is there, which I'll open up this Wednesday if you so desire. Then we have class day 4, day 5, and day 6. And then underneath all of those, which is open to you now, are resources. These 2 resources are available to you now. First is the electronic version of the DHHS manuals in 6 sections. So you can download those if you did not receive them in the email from, I think it's Lynn Richardson who sends that out. Then also have Credentia and DHHS resources. This is the Medication Aid Candidate Guide, which you get from Credentia when to take the, talks about taking the certification exam after you're done with the class. Then I've got a step-by-step guide, which you don't see yet because you don't need it, a step-by-step guide on how to schedule your test, and I've even made a video on how to apply for and schedule your test. You don't see that yet because you don't need to. And that's it. So for now, that's all I've got. Is there any questions about any of the content that we've gone over, or anything that I haven't gone over that you think I should have?
I have a question.
Yes.
So we have an exam from you at the end of class, correct?
That is correct.
And then do we have an additional one?
Yes.
With state?
That is a very good question. There is a test at the end of this course, and I prefer to call it a learning assessment because it's not much of it's like I've made it so you can't fail. All right. I've made this whole class because you guys are all working full time. Many of you are anyway. And I've made this course so that if you do everything I ask you to, you will pass the state examination for certification. The test that is on day 6 right here in your topics, which you can't see yet, is right here. Now I've made this test, this quiz rather. It's 50 questions, which is the same as your state certification exam. They're all multiple choice except for one fill in the blank. But I've made this test, that this quiz, that you can take it as many times as you want to achieve the score that you want. So I'm going to open it up on class day 4 or 5, whatever the case may be. But you can take that test early if you want to take it early. If you want to take it on time and you don't like the score you got, you can take it again. The idea is this: everyone is going to pass the class. It is my goal that everybody passes the class. And I've just realized that you can't see my screen because I stopped sharing. So, so let me share my screen. If that happens again, please let me know. If I start talking about something and I say, see here, and you don't see it, then that means that I've forgotten to share my screen. So now I'm going back to share my screen. let me go back to this part that I can see, but you can't see day 6. Here on class day 6, you should be seeing this right now on your screen, but you don't have access to it yet because you see it here. It says hidden from students, and it is you're going to take the medication test that day, and then you also have a course evaluation link, which is optional. But I really appreciate your feedback because I cannot improve without your feedback. I don't get your feedback. The administration of the school gets it, and they will share it with me. And if there's something you like or you didn't like about the course, please let me know, because that's the only way I can improve. And I really am sincere about that. So the answer to answer your question, and I think it was Tabitha that asked that question. To answer your question, the answer is yes. You'll be taking this test, which you can take as many times as you want to achieve the score that you want. Then, after you complete the course, you will schedule yourself for a test from Credentia. Now, it's a little different than when you did it as a CNA. Your CNA test that you scheduled yourself for, you had to probably go in person. This test will be online, which is nice. That's the good news. The good news is that the test that you take from Credentia, and I've got a step-by-step guide on how to do that. The test that you take from Credentia is online, but the bad news is that you have to use a computer with a camera and a phone with a camera to take this test because they want to watch you. It's a proctored test. They want to watch you from 2 different angles to make sure that you don't cheat on the test. But you don't have to worry about that because you're going to all pass because you're going to do everything that I ask you to do. I have purposely made this class very, very simple because you will get out of this class what you put into it. If you don't read all of the content, there's no way for me to know that. And like I said, you can take the test as many times as you want. So you will pass this class even without reading the content. But if for some reason you don't pass the state exam and you didn't read the content that was assigned to you, that could be the reason why. But if you do everything that I ask of you in this class, you will pass the state examination for certification. But everyone, regardless of whether they do everything I ask them to or not, will pass this class if you do a minimum of 2 things. 1, you show up, and 2, you submit to me that all the assignments that are you do all the assignments that are associated with each day. You do those 2 things, and you will pass the class. Because I take it personally if anybody does not pass the class. I feel as if I failed if you fail. So don't let me fail. Please pass the class. If you get frustrated at any time, do reach out to me, email, text, telephone, anytime, day or night, even at 2 o'clock in the morning. My phone won't answer at 2 a.m. because I've got it on Do Not Disturb, but you can call anyway if you want. And the idea is that your success is important to me, and your success in this class is paramount important. You paid for it. It's your class. Jovan.
I was wondering, is there going to be a skills part to our testing?
Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking that question. I meant to say that. See, this is why I'm so glad that you asked that question. This is why when you teach the same class, over and over, you kind of forget stuff because you assume everybody knows, right? That's another good news for you about the state examination. When you took your state examination for CNA, you had to do that god-awful skills test in addition to your written test, right?
Yep.
And for most people, that is harder than the written test because you have to be perfect, right? You
Yeah.
just about have to be perfect, and it's. But the good news is for this certification for your med aid, there is no skills exam. It's just the written test that is administered via online through Credentia, and that's it. The only requirements that for you to have a medication aid in North Carolina are one, that you're a CNA, and you already are. Two, that you do a 24-hour training class, which you're in right now, and you're going to have 24 hours by the end of the third week. And three, you pass the state examination for certification. So I'm really glad that you asked that question because it is a really good question. And I appreciate that. Okay, and Tierra says for some reason that she can't hear anything right now. Tierra, something happened. Tierra, can you hear now? I don't suppose she can because she probably would have said something. So that was just a little while ago. She said she couldn't hear anything. So Tierra can't hear anything. All right. I got a DM from Trinice. Let me see.
I think she left, didn't she?
Did she? Oh, that's
Tierra.
probably because she couldn't hear anything. Oh, Tabitha, I didn't realize that you had DM'd me your phone number. I apologize for calling you out like that.
No, that's okay.
And Annika, the answer to your question is your answer to your question is yes. Page 6 is fine. And Shayna, your question.
Okay, so I got a book from my friend for the class, but I'm not sure if it's either of the right books.
Okay, can you show it to me? That is a great book. That's the one from the Department of Health and Human Services. That is the correct book that you should have also been emailed.
Okay.
That is the student manual from the Department of Health and Human Services. But the other book is Hartman's Complete Guide for the Medication Aid. It's only $20. Sorry about that, but hey, the class is pretty cheap. What did you guys pay? Like $75 for the class?
Yeah, like 70.
Good, because that's pretty cheap. Because if you looked elsewhere, if you looked other places, most places charge like $500 or $600 for this course. I don't know if you looked anywhere else, and that's in person. So that would be harder. So does somebody have the Hartman's Guide that wants to hold it up so that folks can see it? That's it. Yep. Hartman's Complete Guide for the Medication Aid. It's a really nice book. I think you'll like it.
So will I be
I
able to
found
go?
mine on Amazon.
Yep,
Sorry.
you can get it
It
on
was
Amazon for like
$25.
$20. Oh, okay. I think 25 on Amazon. You might be able to get it directly from the publisher for $20 or from the bookstore for 20 or $25. I don't know. But it's not bad, right?
So will I be able to go to campus tomorrow and possibly get it from the bookstore?
I'd say yes. I don't
Okay.
know for certain. So I would call them first to make sure that they've got it in stock, because
Okay.
they might not have it in stock.
Okay, thank you.
So I really appreciate again that question, and I also appreciate Jovan's question about whether there's a skills portion of the test. There is not a skills portion of the test, number one. And that brings up a good point, which I usually remember to say in the first class, which I've forgotten to say. What is the difference between a medication aid for the nursing home and the medication aid for assisted living?
assisted living, you can, I know you can give insulin and medication
Yep,
aid, you can't.
that's right.
And
That's correct.
then, is that all?
Well, that is the main thing. But one of the things that I was aiming for was this. In order to become a medication aid for an assisted living, there is no
You have to have your
requirement
CNA.
of, you do not have to have a CNA. I don't believe so. But there's no requirement either for any kind of training. So this 24-hour training class is not required by the medication to get the medication aid for adult care or assisted living. Now here's the weird
I
thing.
have my one for assisted living.
Yeah, so Tabitha, you're getting the second one now. You're getting the one, you've got the one for assisted living, and now you're getting the one for nursing home. And so you'll understand this next thing, which is weird. Neither one of them covers the other. I have no idea. This is something unique to North Carolina. If you get the medication aid for assisted living, like Tabitha has, you can't administer medications in a nursing home. And if you take this class and not the other one, then you can't administer medications in assisted living. So you can only administer medications in both places if you have both certifications. Don't ask me why. Later on, if you're interested in getting the medication aid for assisted living, I can tell you how to do that. It's really simple. It's actually through the same company, Credentia. You just sign up and you take the test. But I suggest that you don't do that until after you've taken this you've taken this class and gotten your certification for nursing home, because Credentia has had some difficulty with um, people signing up for the medication aid for nursing home, because you know that the medication aid for nursing home requires that you're a CNA already. So if your name is different in any way than the way it is listed on your certificate for your CNA, if it's listed any differently, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to schedule that without calling customer service. It might be hard for you to schedule it regardless, and you're going to have to call customer service. And I'm going to just let you know that I've had students that have called customer service every day for 2 weeks in a row before they got their stuff fixed. And I hope that doesn't happen to you. But I want to just forewarn you that some students who've taken this class have had that difficulty for whatever reason, and I apologize for that. But it's Credentia, and Credentia blames North Carolina, and North Carolina blames Credentia. I don't care whose fault it is. Just get the thing fixed. But hopefully, you guys don't encounter any difficulties when you sign up for your state examination. All right, so we've covered a lot. In the class tonight. So if there's something that if you feel like you have missed anything, because studies have shown this about learners, and especially adult learners. First of all, adult learners learn everything they learn, everything they see, everything that's new is looking through everything they learn that's new is based upon things that they've learned in the past. Let me see if I can explain that a little better. For example, when I teach nursing, and I teach in the nursing class, I teach this thing that we call the immune system, the humoral immune system. You can't see the immune system. It's a concept, right? Just like you can't see when you're learning about stuff like communication, you can't see, it's a concept. I can give you examples of communication, and I can give you examples of the immune system, but you can't see it. It's abstract, and that's what makes it hard or challenging for some people. So one of the things I like about this text is it's the same way that I teach, and that is I like to give practical examples of things that are abstract. So when I teach about the immune system in nursing, I compare it. I make an analogy to law enforcement, like this. You are let's say you're walking around in a mall, and there is a criminal walking amongst everybody else in the mall. Well, how do you know it's a criminal? First of all, I mean, they could steal something, right? If they steal something, they're going to get in trouble. So who's gonna respond first to somebody that steals something at the mall? Or at Walmart, because maybe you guys are too young to remember what malls are. I know that malls are kind of a thing of the past, right? So you steal something at Walmart, and you get caught. Who catches you?
The police,
Before the police.
security.
Right. It's a department called loss prevention. But loss prevention is very limited in loss prevention is very limited in the scope of what they can do, right? They can't search you without your, well, I mean, they can't arrest you, they can't confine you, they can't detain you. There's a very few things that the loss prevention department can do, right? But their function is to identify, because they're watching everybody on a camera, right? Their function is to identify the bad guys, right? The so that's the first line of defense at Walmart is security, loss prevention. And we have something similar in our immune system. The first line of defense in our immune system are the white blood cells. They're supposed to, and actually we're talking about specifically leukocytes. They're asked to identify an enemy, but they can't. There's not a lot that they can do once they identified it. So what does loss prevention at Walmart do when they've identified a criminal that has broken the law in their in their Walmart, which is your body? We're talking about their body, because now the immune system has detected a pathogen. So what do?
Make contact.
Right. Then these neutrophils, which are also known as granulocytes, they will they'll raise the alarm. This is what they do. They raise the alarm. It's part of the humoral immune system, and these neutrophils, a certain branch of these neutrophils called B cells, beta cells, will release two chemicals into the bloodstream called histamine and heparin. Heparin is is a blood thinner that makes things heal faster, and histamine is part of the immune response. It's like sounding the alarm. It's like the sirens, right? So who does loss prevention call then at that point? Who do they call? They call the police department, right? And the police department are going to be another type of lymphocytes. Remember, I said the beta lymphocytes, they spot the criminal. They spot the criminal, and they produce a specific chemical that known as histamine and heparin. But they do one more thing, which is kind of cool. They take a picture the beta lymphocyte, once they spot the criminal, they take a picture of it so that others in law enforcement can recognize and deal with them. And they send via email or fax or whatever, they send this picture that they've taken to the police department, which is known as immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulin M is the police department, and they are specialists they're specialists in arresting criminals. So the beta lymphocyte through IgG marks the microbe so that other cells can recognize them and deal with them. Then IgM comes to the rescue and arrests and kills the antigen. But wait, what happens when the police run this criminal's file and they find that this person is not your run of the mill shoplifter, that they're actually they've got a warrant for their arrest. Well, guess what?
Extra force.
Who comes out then? Special police, antibodies are called to the scene because this is an identified criminal who's already got a warrant for their arrest. And antibodies are they could be kind of like probation and parole. Maybe there's a parole warrant out for this person. So then the antibodies come out, the special police come out, and they identify this person as having a warrant, but then they do another check and they find out that this is not just your run-of-the-mill criminal with a warrant. This is an international terrorist. They're on the watch list, and they need to call the FBI. And who's the FBI in this scenario? They're called T lymphocytes. We have helper Ts and killer Ts. Helper T cells coordinate. So that's like they set up a command center saying, we've got a known terrorist here, and they set up a command center and communicate with all the other cells, and they attract more FBI and more T cells and more phagocytes to the area than the killer T cells, which are also known as cytotoxic T lymphocytes.
Who has jurisdiction?
You've
involved
every department. That's how I teach, though.
That's not how it works.
Oh, I'm gonna have to consult with my wife, who is in law enforcement, because she says that's not how it works. This is the first time she's heard this lecture, so I have.
You held these people hostage for 2 hours without a bathroom break.
Apparently, well, they can bathroom break on their own. All right, so let me go back to what I was saying. This is the way I like to teach, using an analogy that people can understand. Because if you think of T cells, helper T cells, killer T cells, beta lymphocytes, leukocytes, neutrophils, granulocytes, all of these different cells in the immune system, and there's even more types of immune system. It's really hard to understand for anybody. So if you can put it in terms that you can understand because you're an adult learner, you know about law enforcement, you know about loss prevention, you know about police departments and different levels of police departments. And that's how I teach the immune system. And so far, I've done pretty good. I also, when I teach, for example, it's beyond the scope of this course, but someday if you're interested, I'll tell you about protein synthesis. And I use that. The way I do that is with the general contractor and the FedEx people. I teach protein synthesis using FedEx. But the idea is that this is how adult learners learn, is they learn through a lens of everything they've learned before. And that's my goal. So my wife has just reminded me that I've been holding you hostage here. I've detained you for the last 2 hours without a bathroom break. I would normally give you a bathroom break at this point, but what I'm inclined to do actually is to release you for the rest of the 2 hours of class to complete your assignments for day 1. So your assignments on day 1, do you remember what those are?
Posting the form.
Getting to know you forum.
Yes. That's right. Skim the book, skim the
Read.
textbook, read the textbooks, and that's pretty much it. It's not a lot. And if you forget what's due, it's on the calendar and it's also on Moodle. Listed under day 1. Now don't get confused because I have also made day 2 available to you if you'd like to work ahead. But class day 1 is all you need to do for the next 2 hours. And if you have any trouble with anything at all, again, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be here nursing this cold. And for those of you who have not seen this video, hi, this is Ram from the past. You're viewing this in the future. And I apologize for my cold, but I'm quite sure that you can't catch over the internet. I don't even think that I'll be able to give your computer the virus. So, without further ado, if there are no questions, then I'm inclined to release you for the rest of the class period to complete today's assignments. Any other questions before we sign off?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you said that we have to stay logged in while we do our work, does that mean on the face-to-face, or we're just have to be on Moodle?
That's a really good question. I don't remember ever saying that because it's not true.
Oh, my
I
bad.
may.
Well, you're talking about the test.
Oh, the test.
When they do that
You must be
test.
talking about the state license, the state examination.
Oh,
Okay. When you take your state examination from Credentia, they are going to want you to take it on a computer that has a camera and also download a special app I think it's called Classroom or something like that. Download a special app that will enable them to view you from your phone camera as well. And you're going to put your phone up here so they can have a side view of you and your computer. And they're also going to be looking at you straight on with your computer so that while you're taking that test, you'll be proctored. But it's still a good question because, Shayna, I'm not sure that I made that clear. You do not need to stay logged in to the class or to Moodle or this session for the entire class time. Once we've concluded class, you are free to log off and do your own thing.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Any other questions?